All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Raider Nation Talks. I am your host, Devontae. I want to welcome all football fans of all ages. This is not just for Raider Nation, even though there's called Raider Nation Talks, it's definitely for the AFC West and football fans around the world of all ages, boys, girls, fathers, nieces, nephews, uncles, grandpops, grandmoms, everyone. Cowboy fans, Chargers fans, Lion fans, it doesn't matter. You're a football fan, NFL fan. This is for you. Leave your comments down below. Once I get to 25 subscribers, I'll be able to start my Zooms. So that way, those with the best content, I can send you my Zoom link and we can actually have a football dialogue and conversate a lot better than these so-called experts out here on ESPN and all this other stuff who don't know what they're talking about, even though they're basing their own opinions. I think they're full of it. But we can actually conversate, talk some real football, and as passionate fans, and just connect and talk about how we see things, and without attacking each other, without insulting each other, and without trying to berate each other. So in this episode number 4, I'm going to talk about the roster, and who I think is going to make the 53-man cut. Now, this is Monday, August 31st, and I have already seen that Prince Mukamura has been released by the Raiders. So I didn't have him on my 53-man to begin with, but with that news coming out, that's who he is. So let's get into it. I already wrote down my notes, so we're going to get down to it. And leave your comments down below who you think is going to make the 53-man, who I have on a roster that you may not have, and maybe some surprise moves. So let's get into it, all right? On offense, of course, the leader, the man, already legendary, Derek Carr is going to be our starting quarterback. I do have Marcus Mariota set as our backup. I will not be surprised if Nate Peterman has that backup role to start the season, because he has familiarity with the system. He's already been with John Gruden for a year, while Marcus continues to struggle a little bit to find his footing. I will not be surprised to see Nate Peterman as the actual backup early in the season. So keep your eyes on that. That's going to be a trending topic, especially with the money the Raiders are paying them. It is not about the money, but how fast somebody picks up the system and can come in and get that win. And as we saw last year in preseason games when Nate Peterman took off for that 50-yard scramble and run, it's a thing of beauty. And he's comfortable. He knows the system. So keep your eyes out on that. But I do have all three of them making a roster. For our quarterbacks, of course, with Derek Carr being a leader. We know Josh Jacobs is our bell cow running back. It's not even a question. Jalen Rashad, Alec Ingold, and Lynn Bowden. Those are who I have as far as our running back to pick up. One of the things I know John Gruden likes to do is have some of these guys come in, work, get yourself familiar with the system. So if we do have some kind of injury, then we have some people that we can call and say, hey, we need to bring you in, add some extra depth, and maybe even get some rotation. So hopefully we don't have any major injuries, but it looks like, if that's the case, that's where it goes. One of the things I'm hearing out of camp as well, Lynn Bowden has been kind of struggling a little bit with picking up the pass protection, which is key in John Gruden's system. So keep your eyes out on that to see how much playing time the rookie gets early on in the season. But I do believe he'll be making the team. And then tight ends, Waller, Foster Moreau, Jason Witten, who I have as our tight ends. I would like to see Derek Carrier make the team as well, because he has helped us win some pretty good games. He is the reason we were able to beat the Steelers in 2018 with that touchdown, get us to 4 wins. And even last year on that fake field goal where he snuck out and ran for about another 28 yards to pick up that first down on 3rd and long. So Carrier has definitely been a decent asset for us. Been able to contribute without making too many mistakes, if any at all, that I don't remember him really making. So I do like Derek Carrier. I don't know how it's going to be possible for them to keep him. And if they do, that means one of these offensive linemen we're not going to keep. Of course, our starting five is, one of the best in the league, if not the best in the league. Colton Miller, Richie Incognito, the best center in the league, Rodney Hudson, who is always underrated. I don't know why, but he is definitely the best center in the league. Gabe Jackson, and then, of course, Trent Brown. Now, what I want you guys to do is in the next couple of weeks, keep your ears and your eyes out for a situation with Trent Brown. I do remember during the draft, just before the draft, the Raiders were trying to trade him. Now, I have since heard Mike Mayock and the guys talk about how Gabe Jackson is a huge component for the offensive line, which he is. He's got to stay healthy. We need him to be healthy. We need him to stay consistent, and we need him to be more focused and energized and ready to go. So if that's the case, we'll have our starting five. Hopefully, this year all of them can stay together for longer than about 6 games, because I think that's all they played total last year with injuries and suspensions and everything like that. So keep your eyes out on that, and let's see how that goes there. Backups, I do have Denzel Good, of course, the rookie, John Sampson, Jordan Levy, Andre James, and Sam Young I have as our backups. I don't see Brandon Parker making a team, which is kind of cool for me, because after watching how horrible he was down the stretch when Trent Brown went down, and I haven't heard any improvements. This is going on in your third year with the team, and even as a backup, there's got to be some kind of upside. You got to be trending forward. And he looked like he was trending backwards, slipping and falling on ice and with some roller skates on. So I don't know, but I don't see Brandon Parker making a team. I could be wrong there. Let me know what you think about that. And then, of course, wide receivers, I got Tyrell Williams, Ruggs, Hunter Renfrow, Brian Edwards, who I think is going to be the absolute steal of the draft. I know Ruggs, with his speed, has been the talking point of everything, especially with Williams and his labrum tear in that shoulder, even though he's going to try to play through it, which I commend him for. But if he has if that thing gets any worse, or even if they just want to give him time to heal it and not make it worse, so that he's ready so that Williams is ready for the back half of the season, especially if we're in a playoff hunt. I can see Brian Edwards ready to go and get some big time plays. I know a lot of these so-called experts are saying he's raw, he's not going to be ready, he's a 4th-round pick, and they're forgetting he's only a 4th-round pick because he had a foot injury. He couldn't do the combine, so he couldn't do any of the combine stuff, so people can take a look at him and see what he's going on. But playing in South Carolina and going against the competition, is going against and putting up the numbers that he put up in South Carolina, you're definitely not a 4th-round talent. You are a 1st-round talent, so I think he's a steal. And with the words coming out of camp and the things he's been doing, I wouldn't be surprised if he hit the ground running hard. So I'm really expecting big things, huge early from him and Ruggs. Especially if Williams can't go that much, especially down in the red zone. Look for him to be making a big splash. So I see that going on. Then I have Zay Jones and Nelson Aguilar finishing that up. That was a hard cut for me with Aitman and Keelan Doss. Keelan Doss, I do know, is still eligible for the practice squad, so he may make that. We'll see there. But I have Zay Jones been phenomenal in the offseason, working with Derek Carr, getting more familiar and comfortable with the playbook so that he can do less thinking and more playing and just going out there and getting it done. And when you hear Mike Mayock talk about Zay Jones and Aguilar, how they have grown and progressed in this season, especially for Aguilar, and this being his first year in there without a real training camp or preseason games, that's huge. So I do have those guys making a team. And not only that, I actually have all 6 of these receivers getting some playing time and making it tough on different opponents and defenses, depending on who we're playing in that scheme. I can see all of them getting some playing time. Zay Jones has got speed, Aguilar has got speed, Ruggs has got speed, Renfro has got speed, Edwards has got speed that's underrated. You're just looking at speed on this team. So and they all have something different that they bring to the game that they can mix and match. So this is going to be a really interesting, hopefully explosive offense this year. So yeah, let me know who you think is going to make it as far as the wide receivers there. All right. Now we're on to the defensive side. Of course, Mad Max Crosby. I do have Mo Hurst starting along with Mo Collins. I have heard great things of Mo Hurst coming out this year. I know John Gruden's been saying he's need to step up, but Mike Mayock has said he's been really putting in some work there. So I would like to see Mo Hurst and Malik Collins on that defensive front, especially in that DT, with Mo taking that Tech 1 spot. And then, of course, Cleve Farrell as your starters. Arden Key has been making some noise. He's been ready. He's ready. Year number 3, talking about the injuries. I know you guys, Raider fans, have seen his videos and hearing him talk, so I think he's ready to go. Daniel Ross picking up on the back end. Jonathan Hankins out there. And Carl Nassib I have him on the team, but coming out recently and checking out some of the reports, he's not even getting second string reps, which is a concern for me, especially when you're signing a 3-year, $25 million contract. I do have him making a team because of that, because that'll be a huge unnecessary cap hit that we don't need to take, and the guy's got talent. So keep an eye out on that, because I'm interested to see if he actually makes it, or if one of these other defense DNs that we picked up takes that spot from him. It's going to be really interesting, intriguing indeed. But I do have him making the team there. Of course, linebackers, Corey Littleton, Nick Kwiatkowski, and I actually have Morrow starting on the weak side, on that weak side linebacker spot. Keep your eyes on Tanner. Yeah. Keep your eyes on Tanner Muse and Javon White on there as well. Just to because one of them two may end up being in the starting position as well. Backups, of course, I do have Javon White, Justin Phillips, and Tanner Muse and on the backup rows. I see White playing that strong side, and then Justin Phillips, middle linebacker, Tanner Muse, weak side. There's going to be a huge battle for that starting position between Morrow, White, and Tanner. So keep your eyes out on that too. So that would be something interesting as we edge closer to the start of the season as well. We're going into the cornerbacks. Like we just said, I know they just released Prince Amukamara. So you got Mullins, Damon Arnett. It's going to be your island guys out wide. Joyner is going to be in the slot. Followed him, it's going to be Robertson, Amik. Don't be surprised if you see Amik getting a lot of playing time, especially if Joyner continues to struggle early. If he does, he can't make plays. We're going to see Robinson a lot sooner than later. And I also have Isaiah Johnson and Lawson filling out that backup spot as well. So Nixon and Lawson is going to be battling out. I have Lawson taking that spot, but Nixon very well may be the guy in there. So don't be surprised if you got Nixon in there. Keyshawn's been making some play as well. As far as Harper, number 43, he's been making some plays, and I've been hearing some pretty good things about him. So those final 2 spots on there is up for grabs still, but Isaiah Johnson's making some plays. Nixon's been making some plays. Lawson's been making some plays. Harper's been making some plays. These guys are out there battling. So that pickup, those final 3 spots, those backup rows in that cornerback position is going to be interesting to see. Let's see how they work that out there. Then, of course, safeties, Jonathan Abram and Demarius Randall is going to be starting with Harris and Jeff Heath as the backups. That's what I have for it. If you got somebody different, if you know something I don't that I haven't heard, leave your comments down. Let me know, and we'll rap about it. See what's going on there. And then, of course, special teams, Carlson, AJ Cole, and Sag is going to be the special team guys there. So that's my 53 right there. Let me know what your comments down below, who you think is going to be in, who on my list do I not have, that I should have, that I do have, that I shouldn't have. Just put it down there. Let's talk about it. All right. Once again, always with love, peace, happiness, and rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. Kinda forever. I'm out.